You know, ever since I was little, I always wanted to be Cruella de Vil, and now I am.
Like, now we live in a country where a man could say, now I'm a woman. Now I'm a woman. And we will call you by your name as a woman. But that doesn't mean that a doctor ain't gonna call you until you need a prostate examination.
20 years ago, I knew that transgenders was gonna be a thing. First, I had seen that word transgender was Baphomet, the transgender.
I don't attract gay men, and I'm not attracted to gay men. These are not the men that are interested in me.
Media outlets have described EJ as non-binary or gender fluid, but even those labels don't fully stick because he's pushed back on them too. It's a situation that has everyone talking, questioning, and trying to figure out exactly how he defines himself. But when EJ says things like, I look better than any woman, and claims straight men are attracted to him, critics are, but at the end of the day, biology is biology. That statement alone has people split, with some agreeing and others pushing back hard. Then you've got Katt Williams, and he's coming at this from a totally different direction, and he's not laughing about any of it. Katt believed years ago that these topics would become huge in culture, and that bowing to power would slowly become normalized. And Katt's whole argument is that Hollywood isn't random at all. It's calculated, and these so-called rituals are meant to humiliate and control celebrities. According to him, moments like men wearing dresses, kissing the ring, and certain symbolic imagery aren't just for show. They're intentional moves designed to break someone down mentally. In his view, once a celebrity agrees to do something that clashes with their image or pride, that's it. They've crossed a line. Katt believes that moment proves they'll follow orders no matter what. And from there, the industry has leverage over them. He's painting a picture where staying famous comes with a price, and that price is total compliance. He also claims the pressure doesn't stop there. If someone tries to speak out or go against the system, he suggests they risk being exposed, embarrassed, or pushed out completely. So instead, people stay quiet, play along, and keep climbing the ladder, even if it means going against themselves. Katt ties all of this into the bigger conversation. For the population, Katt suggests the visibility in celebrity circles feels way more intense. Then he takes it even further, saying if the industry really does operate like this, why would it stop with just the celebrities? He believes their families are pulled into the same environment, growing up around fame, influence, and powerful connections. In his eyes, that exposure alone makes everything more complicated and raises even more questions about how much control the industry really has. Now, some people argue that for certain celebrities, having a situation like this in the family can feel personally uncomfortable, especially for those known for a more traditional or alpha athlete image. But what do? They smile for the cameras, handle interviews smoothly, post supportive messages online, and accept the applause like everything is perfectly fine. The question people keep asking is, why go along with it so publicly? One opinion floating around is that they've already learned how the system works. Stay in line, play your role, and everything keeps moving in your favor. That idea has been gaining traction in these conversations. A lot of folks point straight to Magic Johnson as an example. Think about it. This is a Lakers legend, a larger-than-life figure, always smiling, full of charisma, a businessman, a billionaire. For years, he's been seen as the ultimate symbol of confidence and success. Then you've got EJ, bold, expressive, rocking women's fashion, makeup, heels, and making headlines with statements about dating straight men. It's a contrast that keeps people talking nonstop. In public, Magic has made it clear he supports EJ 100%. But critics online keep analyzing every interview, every clip, claiming his body language tells a different story. They point to moments where he seems a bit tense, maybe stumbling over words or avoiding eye contact, and they question if it feels completely natural. Also, something people keep pointing out is how Magic often refers to EJ as gay in interviews, even though EJ has made it clear he doesn't accept that label. That contrast alone has folks raising eyebrows and wondering if Magic fully understands or fully agrees with how EJ identifies. Now, here's where the conversation gets even more intense. There are many who believe Magic might feel conflicted or at least a bit uncomfortable behind closed doors, but they also believe he would never say that publicly. And the reason people give for that is simple. His image is everything. This is the same man who went through a major public health battle in the early 90s, stepped away from the game in shock, and then spent years rebuilding his reputation into one of strength, responsibility, and family values. Today, he's a billionaire, with a huge part of that coming from endorsements, business deals, and being widely respected. So critics argue that even the smallest hint of disapproval could spark backlash, hurt partnerships, and shift public opinion fast. Then there's the generational angle. Magic came up playing in a very different era of the NBA alongside names like Charles Barkley and Larry Bird, times that had a completely different locker room culture. But by the time EJ stepped into the spotlight, society had already shifted in a big way. So from that perspective, people say Magic had a choice: adapt to the new climate or risk being labeled negatively. According to that line of thinking, he chose to adapt. But the question that keeps getting asked is, does he truly feel that way deep down, or is he playing the role expected of him? Well, a lot of people aren't buying it. Now, circling back to Katt's theory about industry rituals, his main claim is that Hollywood pressures celebrities into going along with certain expectations, and they have to smile through it no matter what. That idea alone has sparked a ton of debate online. Then people bring up Magic Johnson again. From their perspective, he represents a very traditional high-level athlete image, so seeing his son confidently step out in bold fashion choices like dresses and heels becomes a talking point. Not because something is wrong with EJ, but because it contrasts sharply with the values Magic was known for during his rise to fame. Even with that contrast, Magic is always seen courtside, smiling, taking photos with EJ, and posting supportive messages on big moments like Father's Day. Some critics point to that and connect it back to Katt's claims, suggesting he's playing along with expectations to maintain his position and image. Then the conversation flips in a different direction. Some people argue that maybe EJ isn't under pressure at all. Instead, they question whether Magic might be the one making bigger adjustments behind the scenes. The idea they push is that EJ gets to live openly, build a platform, and thrive publicly, while Magic has to carefully manage how he responds in front of the world. And it doesn't stop with just one family, according to these discussions. People online often point to a broader pattern among older, traditionally masculine celebrities, especially those who came up in tougher, more rigid eras, now navigating very different conversations within their own families. Marlon Wayans gets mentioned a lot in this context. He has spoken publicly about his child, Kai, and shows support. But in interviews, some viewers feel like there's still a layer of him working through it in real time. He brings humor like he always does, but people watching closely say they can sense a mix of emotions underneath, which keeps the conversation going even louder. And this is where the conversation really splits wide open. On one side, you've got people backing Katt's claims, saying Hollywood is full of pressure, hidden expectations, and image control. They believe what we see on camera is carefully managed, and anything that looks different is part of a bigger play to shape culture. But then there's the other side pushing back hard. They're saying this isn't some grand setup, it's just society evolving in real time. Celebrities have always lived in the spotlight, and now their families are visible too, so naturally, more personal stories are going to be out in the open. To them, EJ is simply expressing himself, and Magic showing support is just a father standing by his child, nothing deeper than that. Still, the reason this topic keeps blowing up is because it touches on so many layers at once: fame, family, identity, and public image. People start asking bigger questions like, how much of what we see from celebrities is real, and how much is shaped by pressure? And when someone lives their life differently, is it genuine expression or something influenced by the spotlight? No matter which side people land on, one thing is clear: this situation has everybody talking. And the more interviews, appearances, and viral moments that come out, the more the debate keeps growing louder and louder. And now the spotlight isn't just on celebrities anymore. It's on the audience too. People online are dissecting every clip, every quote, every outfit, trying to decide what's real and what's performance. One viral moment can flip the entire narrative overnight, and suddenly everyone has an opinion they're ready to defend loud and clear. At the same time, social media keeps pouring gasoline on the situation. Algorithms push the most shocking takes to the top, so the wildest theories and the strongest reactions get the most attention. That's why you'll see one clip of EJ and instantly it turns into a full-blown debate about identity, family dynamics, and even the inner workings of Hollywood. Then there's the pressure of always being watched. For families like the Johnsons, every move becomes a headline, every interaction gets analyzed frame by frame. Support, disagreement, body language, it all gets picked apart by millions of people who don't actually know them personally. So the question keeps coming back stronger each time. Are we watching real life unfold, or a version shaped by fame, pressure, and public expectations? Either way, the conversation isn't slowing down anytime soon. Every new appearance just adds another layer, another reaction, and another wave of people jumping in to say what they think is really going on. And at this point, the whole situation has turned into something way bigger than just one family. It's become a full-on culture debate where people are bringing their own beliefs, experiences, and opinions into the mix. And nobody is backing down. Every side feels like they're seeing the truth, which is why the arguments keep getting louder. Some are doubling down on the idea that fame comes with hidden pressures and unspoken rules, pointing to how polished everything looks on the surface. Others are calling that out, saying it ignores something simple: people change, culture shifts, and what used to be rare is now more visible than ever. That clash right there is what keeps this topic trending non-stop. Meanwhile, EJ keeps living life in the spotlight, stepping out in bold looks, making statements, and staying confident no matter the noise. And Magic? He keeps showing up with that same public support, standing beside his child while the world watches every move. That contrast alone is enough to keep people talking for weeks. In the end, what really fuels this whole situation is perception. People aren't just reacting to what's happening. They're reacting to what they believe is happening behind the scenes. And as long as those questions stay unanswered, the speculation, the debates, and the viral moments aren't going anywhere anytime soon. And then you've got Eddie Murphy, and his situation gets people talking too. His child with Mel B, Angel, came out as trans, but Eddie rarely brings Angel up in interviews when he talks about his family. That silence has people raising questions, wondering why we mostly hear updates from outside sources instead of directly from him. Some say Eddie fully supports Angel behind the scenes, but critics keep asking, if that's the case, why not speak on it the same way he does about his other kids? That contrast has definitely caught attention and added more fuel to the conversation. Then you've got Dwayne Wade, who took a completely different route. He's very public about supporting his daughter, Zaya, speaking out in interviews and on social media. But even that gets picked apart, with some people saying it feels almost too public, like he's trying extra hard to make a point. All of these men built their reputations on strength, confidence, and a traditional image of masculinity. Now they're navigating a totally different spotlight where every word or even silence can spark backlash or praise instantly. So what do you think about all this? Do you believe Magic truly accepts EJ, or is there more going on behind the scenes? And what's your take on Katt's claims about Hollywood and those so-called rituals? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe for more breakdowns,